to another video. Today we'll be continuing up to this series. It's been a while since I've last done it, but let's dive right in. So, things are things. I don't know what else to say. Well, oh, I guess the orange team goes out exploring a little. Discovers a little bit more. And, yeah. They discover Madagascar. So, yeah. And, straight from Brittany, they go sailing. I have no idea where they're going to end up, honestly. I'm just moving. I have no idea where they're going to end up. So I'm just, scrolling over. Oh, we've landed. Where is this? Is this Florida? I think this is Florida. Yep, they've landed in Florida. So Florida has been discovered. Then they decide to go sailing south, Caribbean. It's a pretty easy place to discover it exists when you reach anywhere near it. And then they just go sailing and sailing and sailing and free land Texas. I've managed to make a landing in Texas too. And they eventually link up the two areas they discovered. And they realize, holy, this is probably like a continent. We should go back to France and tell them. So they go back to France, tell them. France says, I don't care. It has gold. And all of a sudden, France cares. Yeah. All it takes is money for a country to care. And they set up a few little colonies. Nothing too fancy. Yeah. You know what? Should we have let's have colonial capitals. But let's make them this color instead of the normal yellow to distinguish that these aren't actual full capitals. They're colonial capitals. So France doesn't really like to divide its colonies that much. So right now it has all of its colonies under one big colony, all centered in that part of Cuba. Then Ireland hears about this and goes sailing off. Discovers this. And eventually, with French explorers, they eventually link up with French explorers. And then the English who went there decide, now's a perfect time to settle. So, they begin settling a few little spots. And, unlike France, they like to have individual colonies. Each one of these colonies is its own thing. So, yeah. And, so these two begin exploring, and they really want to explore a lot before anyone else can hear about this. So they explore a lot. And, well, the colonies begin expanding. These two English colonies unite. France manages to connect its colonies. He's going to expand them a little. And this blank area gets filled in. And eventually, all of England's colonies get connected up. As England continues to expand up this way. But then over here, Greenland continues Greenlanding. You know, they explore all their island. Where's Greenland at? So yeah, Greenland explores their island. And now Greenland's fully expanded. And Sweden decides that they want everything back. So, but their colonies aren't gonna. But they're not colonies. Their regions aren't gonna give up their recently founded independence that easily. So they kind of have to fight Norway for it. So yeah, Norway does lose and does get reintegrated. These islands just straight up just join. They roll over to the Finnish border and say, hey, surrender back over your independence. Finland says no. They begin an invasion. They start out with some great success over here. But then it begins to winter. And they stop. Just right there. But Finland doesn't need to stop for winter. And yeah. But then it's summers again. The Swedes retake. Finland does defend better before the next winter. Finland decides to go decides to go like not invade Sweden, but just like try to take back their land. Hold up. Am I using the right color? Is this the color? Oh, that's the color. So yeah, and they make a few encirclements, and yeah, they're beating back the Swedes for now. But then the Swedes will just roll up to Iceland and just take it. The Swedes are on a massive reconquest. Then over here, summer begins again. The Swedes finally push back over, but the Swedes have gotten pretty tired and decided peace, and Finland agrees. So Sweden wants to directly take this and use the rest of their land they've gained and use the rest of the land to establish a puppet government in Finland. Which, with the situation Finland's in, they kind of just agree. And there we go. Finland is back under Sweden. But now Sweden has to face Greenland, which, although it does look big, it just gets absolutely steamrolled. Like, boom. All of Greenland's useful land just got taken. And Greenland surrenders over. And Sweden full annexes. That was very simple. Now, word has got over to Orange that there's a lucrative business over if you sail called the Americas. So they set sail from their port. They go out and they They make it to a French hold. The French greet them just like, "Hey, we are here. Please go find somewhere else to colonize." And they proceed to sail around. They find the French again, sail back over, till they finally find a new area. They discover the Yucatan Peninsula, which not the greatest place for colonization, but it is close to some good places, which this allows for some quick expansion. They don't get past the Darien Gap, because it's the Darien Gap, you're not getting past that. But they do link up with the French. And then the orange team orange guys begin expanding into their discovered lands. You know what? Screw colonial capitals. I don't like how they look on the map. Yeah, that looks better. So, yeah. And, yeah. So, they just kind of did this. They can't get past the Darien Gap. It's just something that happens. Spain hears about it. They decide to go up, discover around this area, decide, hey, this could make a good business. What if we just took over this place? Took over this island. Which I'm pretty sure this part is an island. It's just not shown on the map. And they decide, you know what? Why don't we take over this whole island chain? They discover the island chain, the whole thing. Takes a lot of effort to discover this last northern island, but they manage to do it. And they decide to make their business up here in getting everybody across to the Pacific. So it's you want to get across, you want to go to the Pacific, you have to go through Spain. And Spain's pretty nice about it. Sure, you have to pay them a little, but they're pretty chill about it. You could say, okay, I'll pay you a little later, and they'll just be fine with it as long as you pay them later. Spain's pretty chill about it. So the other powers are fine with it. Poland decides they want a piece of the action. They sail through the channel, which takes a lot of effort not to get shot. Then they begin exploring. They set sail. They decide to go down. And they discover a little region over here. They go kind of down the coast. Until they reach around here. Then they decide to stop, set up their colony, which Poland, having sent a lot of resources, kind of just sets up Poland gets a big start. So yeah. So Poland just does some Poland things, also known as making sure no one will hurt Poland. And there we go. Poland now has a colony too. Russia, hearing about this, decides to rush over to the Pacific. They just begin rushing to discover Siberia. Honestly, they don't even really care about the southern bit. They just kind of care about getting over there. which they do, because Russia really wanted a piece of that pie. So yeah, Manchuria discovers this little bit. Then, in go the Russians. The Russians just really, really want to get there. It's at the point where, like, Russia doesn't even really care about fully, like, colonizing this area, like, fully taking over. They just care about getting enough so that they can have a path. Which leads to this border war. Border war. Which they'll fill in later, they just need a little bit of time. They just were in such a rush to get over here. When they finally do get over here, they take a breather. They deserve it. They discover Alaska. You know, just discovering. And they decide to take a break and go over here and begin to remove the border war. They send some settlers in to finally get rid of all this. Though as they get farther this way, it is getting harder. And by the time they reach that peninsula, they just can't anymore and they have to leave it like that. Though they do set up a few links to let them get to all their territory. So yeah. Russia does it. Russia has done a good job at expanding. And now they're looking to gain a colony, so they set out and explore. They end up getting over here, Alaska, you know. But then they decide, you know what, it's really cold up here, and, like, it's really cold back home. So, like, and, like, we're kind of tired of this cold, so, like, what if we kind of just went down and decided from there we'll set up a colony. So that's what they do. They begin just going down. Don't even know where they're headed. And they land in Baja. Oh yeah, also they discover Hawaii and decide it's worth the trouble. But yeah, they discover Baja and eventually the rest of California. And there we go. And Russia sets up a colony there because they like the weather. So yeah, Russia's finally getting some places that are not cold. And there we go. Russia does it. Russia has set up a more south colony. But over here, the division of Germany has really upset the German people, so they begin an uprise. They begin to, like, rise up. They don't like it. Italy, not wanting to deal with the trouble, just concedes to their demands, setting up the first part of the Italian state. Honestly, the Orange team couldn't care about these guys. They just kind of concede it. France does care a little, but, like, not enough to fight a full-on war over it. Poland cares a lot. But as time goes on, Poland's area kind of just gets crushed. France is willing to, like, fight a few skirmishes, but, like, not a full-on war, so after a little while they just concede to the demands to give back the German territory. And eventually Poland has to concede, but, like, it's more favorable to Poland because Poland fought so hard for that. So now Germany wants. Also, wait. Also, Poland gets this to keep up being able to leave, like get to their colony. We've been recording 20 minutes. Also, Germany ends up going around the same path, sailing over, and setting up and discovering a little colony over here. The Darien Gap yet again. The Darien Gap strikes again. And Germany just begins exploring, and eventually they link up with the Poles. And there we go. And yeah, there's a lot of exploring going on. And there we go. And then Germany begins getting a colony. And they gain, and this little Colombian, Venezuelan, Ghanan, Surinamian, however you pronounce Suriname, people from Suriname, colony. Even a little bit of Panamanian. Yeah, a little bit of Panamanian. Now, 21 minutes. I think that's enough for today. Thank you, everybody. I thank you all so much for watching. Bye.